my dear students. How are you all? I hope you all are fine. Welcome back to all of you in our biology classes. And today we are going to explore what makes the rain. Do you know? Do you already know? Okay, I'll tell you. All the water which are in the water bodies are flowing, all the rivers are flowing, and they are going into the oceans. If rains will not occur, slowly all the freshwater reserves will get empty and all the water will reach to the oceans. And as we all know that oceans waters are salty and we can't use it as fresh water. We can't drink it. Mammals can't drink it. Freshwater fishes can't drink it. Other animals insects and all those things, they also must drink only fresh water. Okay, so the point is that fresh water, non-salty water, is very essential for our existence. And from where does this non-salty water, this fresh water which comes down on earth as rain, where does it goes up? From where does it comes exactly? So I'll tell you, my dear students, this is also a great boon given to us, that this magic is also done with the help of plants. Plants take in water from the soil, from where they are, and they use it and they evaporate the same amount of water back into the atmosphere. That evaporated water is in the form of water vapor. It's lighter than the air, hence it goes upward and deposits at a certain height. When enough quantity, sufficient quantity of water is deposited there, it starts raining and we see this magic. So I am very sure that this class is going to be a really interesting class, and we will explore each and everything related to this concept of transpiration. What exactly is transpiration? The loss of water from the aerial part of plants in the form of water vapor is known as transpiration. What does it mean? Just now we discussed that when plants take in water, they also give it back to the nature. They return it. They don't consume it as it is. Okay, we also return it, but in some other form. We return it in our waste as our waste products. But plants return it in a much refined way. Whatever is absorbed from the soil is little bit dirty, but whatever comes out of the leaf is 100% pure water. Okay, nothing is mixed in it. So plants are good for us. Okay, so this is transpiration. From where does it happens? You have in your previous classes you must have learned that on every leaf, under every leaf, there are stomatas are present. Like this, stomatas are here in the leaves, although it is everywhere, but just I'm showing. The stomatas are present on the bottom part, lower surface of the leaf. From there it happens. Okay, upper surface don't have stomata because of two reasons. First, it has it wants to make it very good and even for absorbing more sunlight. And secondly, if water becomes less in the plant, it can shrink its leaves and the stomatas will be closed. This way it will be open and this way it will be closed. Okay, hence it is always, mostly in some plants there are on top surface also, like lotus or other aquatic plants which are on the surface of water, so they have on top also. So this is transpiration. Now we will see how does water moves, what is the phenomena, how does it exactly goes. Whenever there is a electric motor in our home, and whenever we want the underground water to reach to the water tank on our roofs, what do? We switch on the motor. The motor takes electrical power to take water from below and reach it to the tank. Okay, so similar type of mechanism is going on here also. Water is taken from the soil, even it is pulled and then it is reaching to the leaves, so it needs some kind of energy. So plants are very clever about it. Okay, more than us. We have designed that motor which uses energy, but plants are much older than us. They are here on earth from much before time than we are existing. So plants have developed a more sophisticated way of doing it. They have identified, they have discovered a very interesting property of water. Have you ever heard about the capillary action of water? If you will take a thin tube, and put one end into a water, and if you will pull from the other end, water will continue coming out of it, even if it is raised higher. Have you ever tried it? No? Okay. So this is it, capillary action of water. You can try it. It's a very simple experiment. Just pull it from one side, and once the water starts coming, take it out from your mouth and then raise it higher. You will see, even if this point is low, this is high, water will reach up there. Okay, so this is very common. I'm very sure you must know this. So this capillary action of water is that property which plants use to reach, take that water from below to the leaves. Okay, so plants are a continuous system of water, flowing water. Okay, this process never ends. That suction, if it will break once, then it will be very tough. Lot of energy will be required to start it again, pull it so high. So that plants don't have that much energy, that much suction pull. So they have a continuous, from the moment a seed is germinated, this pressure is created and it continues till the plant lives. This pressure is always on. Okay, when a plant dies, then only this continuous flow of water stops. Till then they continue doing this. Okay, the water they use, rest of the water they make clouds. So plants are very important for us. Okay, so this pull is also called, transpiration pull. If you will talk about the water, then the property is capillary action of water. But if we will talk about the plant, whatever it is using there, so it's called the transpirational pull. Okay, so I hope you understood this much. Now we will discuss what are the factors which affect this rate. Okay, the rate of transpiration. What are the factors which affect it?